Well, hello, hello. Thank you for joining us. It is Monday, April 6th, 2026. Ted, I think, is on his potty break. Fresh off of deprogram. I saw Jamarl was joining as a guest co-host. So that's good to see him because we were all worried about his health. I know he's had some health challenges in the past few months. So as we await Ted, I'll hop to all this stuff. And Robbie, if we have an ad, let me know. We do. Okay, so I'm Manila Chan. Ted Rall will be joining us in just a moment. You are tuned in to the Ted Manila Information Show, TMI for short, because we bring you too much information. We do it live Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. Eastern time. So please be sure to hit the like, the follow, the share, and the subscribe button. And that will help our little show continue to grow. Robbie, go ahead and throw that ad up there. There it is. Let's hop to the ad, and then Ted will be joining us in just a second. All right. So still haven't tried 1775 coffee? Now's your shot. The 1775 starter kit just dropped, only 1,000 units. You're getting the bold dark roast that hits hard, that smooth medium roast, and the Vitality mushroom coffee for that clean energy and laser focus without the crash. All single origin, small batch, toxin free, and mold free. Plus, you'll get a gold spoon clip because freedom ain't scooped with plastic, and a frother strong enough to stir up your coffee and your mother-in-law's opinions. Plus, you'll get a black 1775 tumbler, $170 worth of coffee and gear, all yours for just 99 bucks. This is for all of you who have been watching 1775 blow up here on Rumble, wondering if it's actually worth it. Spoiler alert, it is. Go to 1775coffee.com/studio and grab your starter kit before they're all gone. Bold beans, clean fuel, and a morning routine that stands for something just like Rumble does. And there be Ted. Good morning, Ted.
Good morning, Manila. How are you?
Very, very pregnant.
Are you ready to drop on the show?
God.
Think about the ratings. Think about the ratings.
Oh my God. If only we had if I had a cameraman here, we'd be taking bets again. I thought it was Braxton Hicks, but I thought I could have been going into labor this morning. You men don't know.
Wait, you had Tony Braxton? What?
Yeah. Yes. I have Tony Braxton in there. Interesting story for this weekend. No, but the Braxton Hicks is what they call the false labor, contractions. Because if they don't continue, then you're fine. And mine did not continue. But for a moment there, I was like, oh my God, she's coming now. But damn it, she's not. Get out of there. Anyway, I was happy to see Jamarl on with you today. He's looking in much better shape than the last video that he had posted.
Yeah. No, I think he's rocking it now.
Good. Well, I'm happy to see that. So is he guest hosting with you for a little bit more?
He is.
Excellent. So we'll be looking forward to seeing more of him. I'm glad he's looking healthy. Anyway, let's hop to the show. I got some doctors to be calling after the show. So let's hop to it. All right. So I know you guys covered a whole ton of stuff with Jamarl, but I'm not sure if I didn't catch if you guys did cover this one, Ted, but it's about my favorite organization. Some might call it a trade organization. Some might call it other things, but NATO.
Well, it's not a trade organization.
Well, it is trade, Ted, because once you're in that club, it's like Costco. Now you can buy American bombs.
All the ones you want.
I think you're wrong. It is a trade organization. For all intents and purposes, it really is. It behaves like a Costco membership, NATO. But right now, no surprise, tensions are running high between Trump and other NATO leaders as grumblings grow over the U.S. potentially again teasing the withdrawal from the alliance. NATO's relationship with the U.S. is being scrutinized by a number of Republicans, including Secretary of State Marco Rubio, who is questioning whether the U.S. still needs NATO. Mark Rutte, NATO's Secretary General, is reportedly scheduled to meet with Donald Trump next week here in Washington as the president puts more pressure on allied nations to do more to reopen the Strait of Hormuz as Operation Epic Fury streams on.
Epic Fury.
I feel like you have to have like a guitar riff, like as soon as you say it. Like you just can't say it without the riff. The president has indicated in recent weeks that he is considering withdrawing from NATO again. You guys remember he did that in Trump 1.0. During a bilateral meeting in the Oval Office on March 17, the media outlet called The Center Square, which I've never heard of. I don't know if they're new. Have you heard of them?
Never. That doesn't mean anything. I don't get out much.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I've heard of a lot of groups or outlets, but remember, the Trump admin 2.0 is really specific about who they're giving press credentials to. So this might be, one of those that are friendly to the Trump administration. They asked him whether he was rethinking America's relationship with NATO and possibly withdrawing again. And the president responded by expressing grave disappointment, Ted, in NATO's lack of support since the U.S. strikes on Iran began just over a month ago. He said, well, I'm disappointed in NATO that we spent trillions of dollars on NATO. Think of it, trillions over the years. It's one of the reasons we have deficits and we help other countries when they don't help us. I mean, it's certainly something that we should think about. So some NATO countries, including France, the motherland, Ted, Spain and Italy, have all come under scrutiny for prohibiting American forces from using their bases to carry out those strikes against Iran. Marco Rubio expressed his disappointment on Fox this weekend, echoing Trump's desire to re-examine America's involvement with NATO. He said, quote, "We're not asking them to conduct airstrikes when we need them to allow us to use their bases. Their answer is no. Then why are we in NATO?" You have to ask that question. So I think there's no doubt, unfortunately, after this conflict is concluded, we are going to have to re-examine that relationship. Now, the notion of withdrawing from NATO is sparking debate over on the Hill, with Democrats and Republicans voicing support for this nearly 80-year-old alliance. Democrats on the House Foreign Affairs Committee responding by arguing the president doesn't have the authority to withdraw the U.S. from NATO. Now, despite their claims, the president told media that he doesn't need congressional approval. Quote, "I don't need Congress for that decision. I can make that decision myself," the president claimed. Senator Rand Paul, who is often a vocal Republican critic of the president, voiced support for withdrawing from the treaty. Me too. Quote, "Trump is right to reconsider NATO. Under Article 2, the president has full constitutional authority to withdraw from any treaty without Senate approval. The 2023 Kaine-Rubio provision can't override the Constitution. It's his call to make." That's Rand Paul posting to Twitter.
Not actually, but all right.
The Constitution says nothing about how to exit treaties, so that remains with the president. The founders designed it this way deliberately. Hard to get in, easy to get out when alliances no longer serve America's interest. Trump is forcing the conversation Washington refuses to have. Do our alliances benefit America or just trap us indefinitely? Alliances should serve our interest, not the other way around. Now, that's Rand Paul. So, I mean, that's a fair criticism. Now, to be sure, the senator has been a vocal critic of the Trump administration's involvement in Iran. Meanwhile, Senator Mitch McConnell, I guess somebody found the reset button on old Mitch, and Senators Chris Coons, who's a Democrat from Delaware, released a joint statement. Well, it's a joint statement, Ted. So that means somebody else wrote it up and stamped Mitch McConnell's name on it. So I don't think they pressed the reset button on old Mitch. They released a joint statement vowing to protect America's alliance with NATO, even if the president decides to withdraw. Quote, this is from the joint statement. NATO is the most successful military alliance in history. It has underpinned the security of the United States for more than 70 years. The only time NATO has gone to war has been in response to an attack on America. Not true. Like, hello, Belgrade. NATO troops fought and died in Afghanistan and Iraq alongside American forces.
Afghanistan never attacked, and Iraq never attacked America, ever.
Like these, like, what is wrong?
They just say shit.
That old.
They just say shit.
Stupid shit. They say the United States must not take this not take this sacrifice, nor our allies' commitment to make it again lightly. The Senate will continue to support the alliance for peace and protection it provides to America, Europe, and the world. Not true. Like I said, Belgrade. Was Belgrade attacking us, Ted? Last I checked in the 90s?
No. Not even a little bit.
Yeah, not even a little bit. So, you know, Ray, thank you for the donation. Ray, Ted, this is for you. He says the Subhumans are playing on Saturday in Queens. You could catch Dick Lucas belting out killer punk tunes again. Oh,
I would love to. I unfortunately I can't do Saturday, but I would love to. I would if I were free Saturday.
And Daddy of Triplet says, some fat to chew on. I think the aggressive nature of removing non-citizens and seizure of oil from weak countries is setting us up for AI, automation, and UBI. I do have to chew on that one.
I hope so.
Removing non-citizens sets us up for UBI. Huh.
I don't know how they're removing non-citizens does that.
For like UBI. Well, I guess you would be more able to.
If you have a smaller workforce?
Yeah, give UBI if there are fewer people in the country, but then I don't know. I really do have to think about that one, actually. But anyway, back to this NATO thing. I was happy when Trump 1.0 was flirting with that idea, Ted. Because as you know, I'm a big critic of NATO.
Well, I don't. NATO should not exist anymore.
Should vanish. It should just poof, disappear.
It should.
Like there's no reason for it to exist. The moment in 1991, when the Soviet Union fell, there was no more reason for this organization to exist.
I honestly thought I was so fucking stupid. I really thought they would get rid of it. I mean, after all, the Soviets, they got rid of the Warsaw Pact.
Yeah. So, like, I don't understand.
And the Warsaw Pact was a response to NATO.
So, like, why wouldn't they even, at the very least, like, if you don't dissolve NATO entirely, but why not rebrand it as something else if you don't want to, you know what I mean? If you don't want the whole alliance to go to waste or whatever, however you want to frame that, you could at least rebrand it like, like Blackwater. Or like, we're no longer killing civilians in town squares in Iraq. We don't do that. We're now called whatever we're called now. And now we just go secretly kill people elsewhere and have less transparency. But still, it's a rebrand. It's a rebrand. You can at least make the effort to rebrand. NATO could have done that if they didn't want to get rid of the alliance. And maybe they have like a group savings account or something, Ted, and they didn't want to dissolve that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, or their YouTube analytics would go down if they would
so they're like,
change it up.
Man, it took us a long time to get those 1,400 subs, man. We're monetized. I don't want us to let that go to waste.
Yeah, that would suck.
That would suck, man. So maybe, you could have just rebranded and not be so overtly anti-Ruski, like maybe that causes some problems when you're, I don't know. I'm obviously an outsider, but I feel like if your whole position for existence is to be antithetical to one group of people, then, you look at if you view yourself as a hammer, then everything looks like a nail. And I feel like that's what NATO is.
Yep. Agreed.
So like anything the Ruskies do, it's evil. But, here's NATO. And then look, to Donald Trump's point and Marco Rubio, why am I defending Marco Rubio?
Who knows?
Why do I have to do this? He's right, though. I mean, even if I did believe in the alliance, if I did believe in this current war, if I did believe in the alliance, he's right. Like, with friends like these, who the fuck needs enemies?
But wait, it's like, but who's the bad friend here, right?
The Frenchies, the frogs won't let us go park.
The Frenchies are like, you didn't talk to us. You started this. You picked this bar fight with this big bruiser, and now you did this without.
You stood by Dan.
Well, yeah, like a fool. like now I wouldn't, because I was young. It's like, yeah.
Well, that's just one example, is right. Like the froggies won't even let us park our jets there. So to Marco Rubio's point, they, I feel like this is like a take relationship. Although they're also, they're vassal states in the way that we can force them to buy our shitty equipment, even though like the French make better planes, better
Right.
whatever. And we're still like, no, you have to buy our Boeings. I know the doors come off. I know the doors come off. I know. But you're my friend and you're supposed to buy 30 jets from me in the next 10 years.
That's it.
So I told you, it's a Costco thing. Like you have to buy. But again, to Marco Rubio's point, he's right. With friends like these, who needs enemies? So why are we paying $1 gazillion? And why are we asking to bump our DoD budget to, what is it, like $1.2 trillion now? Is that the last number I heard?
$1.5 trillion.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Okay. Meanwhile, we have no medical care for the entire country.
Yeah, that's by the way a 50% increase in a year.
Just think, Ted, if 50% of that went to something else.
You mean something useful?
Like, what is that? 75 billion? Would that be right? 75 billion?
Wait, what do you mean?
Half, because if the budget
750.
750. Sorry, yeah. I knew I skipped a zero. I knew that didn't sound right. $750 billion. Imagine what that could do for the United States.
Oh, it'd be crazy. We could do so much.
Like healthcare, clean water, the homeless issue would be resolved.
Easily.
All of that would be resolved literally in one fell swoop.
Mm-hmm.
But here we are trying to build more weapons of war just to kill people for that amount of money instead of saving them.
True.
So Robbie says it's so we can dominate them geopolitically. I know why. I know the nefarious reasons. It's, rhetorical. But if our government was actually a government that cared about its people like it purports to, then why are we bumping up the DoD budget? Anyway, that's my gripe. Like, yeah, how about we get the fuck out of NATO, split off some of that savings that we're not giving to NATO, right? Because we have to pay membership dues to join the club.
Mm-hmm.
How about we use some of those membership dues for something useful, like saving lives instead of murdering people?
Yeah, it's just about anything other.
Anything. Buy cereal for buy food for
anything.
Like, these are things that I'm not even into, like cereal or plastic bottled water. But I would promote that over paying for NATO dues. Anything.
Well, the thing is that, like, anybody who studied the beginning of World War I knows the dangers of entangled alliances, right? And anytime, like, your fight becomes my fight automatically, whether I like it or not, that's dangerous. all you need is two drunken border guards between, like, Moldova and Russia, and to start fighting, start shooting at each other across the river, which, by the way, happens all the time. Then, because they're bored and they literally drink in the wee hours of the night. There's been border skirmishes like that between China and Pakistan fairly recently that started out with just drunken louts at the border up in the mountains with nothing better to do. And so literally you could end up with World War III because of something like that. It's fucking stupid.
Yeah. I say I'm with Rand Paul. I'm with Marco Rubio questioning this. And I'm actually with POTUS on this. Let's just get out. Like, I think once we got out of that, we could actually unchain ourselves from the rest of the other EU countries that are in NATO who deliberately want to keep the rift between the US and Russia. I don't know why. I'm not sure why. Like, I don't know how that behooves them, but I know that's what they want.
Well, because it justifies the it's sort of like why the Cancer Society might not want cancer to go away. NATO would not. NATO has a lot of grifting, and the whole thing would go away if there's no enemy. And after all, it was created as an anti-Russia alliance. That was the purpose of it.
Yeah. Like a lot of the Nordic European countries, for some reason, and the UK. Why does the UK want to hate Russia so much? I don't understand. Like, I'm not going to say in the entire UK, because I don't think Ireland feels that way, but I think the Brits feel that way for sure. Like they really
the government
hate the
does
Russians.
anyway.
Yeah, the British government, not all of the UK, but anyway, we'll leave that there. Let's move on. I hope, wouldn't that be something? That would be something I think a lot of people from your camp, Ted, like the real leftists and people somewhere.
I think
like
NATO
we'd all get behind this.
NATO ought to have gone away ages ago.
Yes. I think this is something leftists and libertarians and even some Republicans could all gather around and agree on, is get us the hell out of NATO. It has been toxic to the world. It has been toxic to American foreign policy. It is rooted in an old, outdated 20th century model that no longer functions. It doesn't serve us. They're right. It doesn't serve. So it serves some interests, but it doesn't serve the American people, I would say. So
no. Agreed.
Let's sunset that bitch. Let's get out of that club. It's bunch of mean girls, Ted.
True.
Those bitches. Ursula von der Leyen, please. Bitch.
All right. A case out of South America is putting a spotlight on something that's been simmering a while. In Brazil, a group of Argentine tourists is now on trial after being accused of racial abuse targeting Black Brazilians during a soccer-related trip. So according to the Brazilian prosecutors, this incident involved fans who made racist gestures and slurs, including mimicking monkeys, something that, of course, if you follow international soccer at all, is an extremely loaded and inflammatory form of abuse. Brazilian authorities were unhappy, so they charged the tourists under their anti-racism laws. In Brazil, racial insults can be prosecuted as a serious criminal offense, not just as shitty behavior, but something that can carry real prison time. So, because this is happening against a backdrop of major tensions between Brazil and Argentina, especially around race identity and how each country confronts or avoids its own history, Brazil has been increasingly aggressive in cracking down on racism, especially in sports. Argentina, on the other hand, is often criticized for downplaying or dismissing racism, especially among its fans when they go overseas. So, on one side, you have a country saying this is criminal and we're going to treat it that way. On the other side, visitors were caught a little bit by surprise for getting charged. And so, if you go to Brazil, be careful with any kind of behavior that, I always like to remind people, when you travel overseas, you are subject to their laws, whether you think their laws make sense or not. So it's incumbent upon you to find out what those laws are, like Brittany Griner, and follow those laws, right? Instead of being like, well, it's just a little bit of pot resin, so it shouldn't have been a big deal. You probably should have checked your bag before you went to Russia, right? So,
yeah. Well, as much as I don't like, let's just say, Ted, this may come as a surprise to you. I've gotten into speech trouble overseas a few times.
oh yeah, especially where you worked, I bet.
Yeah. So, as much as, and I was obviously in my 20s back then, and I vehemently opposed it, and I'm very pro free speech and whatever. And
but you don't have that.
refused.
You don't have that in other countries.
Right. And I just rejected that because I don't know. I still at that time, I think I still had the residue of the American empire and the ideology of, like our hegemonic powers should be spread everywhere, that people should believe like what we believe, or what we used to believe. I don't know if we still believe that now in free speech. But I do believe that it's a fundamental core value of mine. Even if you're a Nazi and you are horrible and wish the death of people of various colors or religions, like, you have the right to do that. Like here.
Yeah.
I don't know what the laws are in Argentina, but when you're in Brazil as an Argentine, you're subject to whatever shitty laws are in that country, wherever you're traveling with your soccer hooligan friends.
It's the same way that people who come to the United States are subject to our stupid laws. And we have many stupid laws.
Oh, we have many stupid laws. But it's kind of shocking to me, Ted. But one thing I will say that I have noticed since Lula came back to power is that he's gotten very authoritarian this second go round.
Yeah, I had noticed that. I guess like being sent to prison has that effect on you.
Does it? I mean, I don't know what's happening with Brazil, but they really are cracking down on all kinds of speech, on all kinds of, these are, I guess the argument can be made that, and you got to forgive me for lumping your people, the liberals, into leftists, into liberals, and liberals into leftists, but people on the left, ever since COVID, I would say, have all subscribed to this group think, and you can't have mean tweets, mean thoughts, mean whatever, lest you be thrown in prison. And I feel like Lula's Brazil has gotten that way, which it to me doesn't align with leftist, or what he claims to be a socialist leftist, right? Which doesn't align with the values that I was always under the impression leftists believed in.
Well, obviously, look, leftists can be authoritarian.
Sure.
There's lots of examples of that. Authoritarianism is a style of governance, and being on the left, I agree with you. In my opinion, the two things are incompatible. But to be authoritarian and to be a socialist to me requires like a lot of free speech. But
yeah, maybe that's an American socialist ideology. Maybe I don't know.
Maybe so. Yeah.
And maybe not. The water in the toilet swirl the other way underneath the equator. So maybe the other way.
You think that's it's the water in the bowl that's doing it to them?
Well, it means everything is bizarro.
Right.
South of the equator, right? So
that's true. I've never been south of the equator. I've been at the equator.
Really?
Never south. How about you?
I don't think south, all the way south of the equator. I don't think so. No, I've been at the equator.
I've been to Indonesia. That's the equator.
I've been close. Close. I mean, always northern him. Yeah, I don't think I've been to the south, but if everything is bizarro, if everything goes the other way, like if summer is winter there and winter is summer here, like they're at the beach at Christmas,
Yeah.
then maybe in Lula's Brazil, maybe that's what socialism looks like. Is it's like this hard clamp down on liberties, and like it's not like America's idea of like, hey, everybody be cool, man. Like, it's not that, right, with like lefties here.
Right.
So it's kind of disappointing. I don't know. I've always wanted to go to Brazil. I'd like to see Mardi Gras someday, but not if it looks like this, Ted. Not if you can get in trouble for mean tweets and mean thoughts, or even if you don't realize, not that I'm going to go around making monkey gestures at dark-skinned people. It's not exactly something I do.
No.
But
well, it's just
knowing that.
But there's all sorts of countries that have strange rules. Like, for example, Thailand has a lèse majesté rule, which means you cannot make fun of or insult the king. No, I don't know if you could insult any members of the royal family. I'm not sure.
No, no, you can't.
But you basically can't say, oh, the king is gay, the king can blow me. Like nothing. Yeah, you can't say
nothing mean. He's jailed. He's imprisoned multiple people for mean tweets about him in Thailand because he threw his little gay foofy dog a birthday party, or maybe the prince did or something.
Oh, did he?
He threw like $1 million bash for his little foofy white dog.
In a country with like a lot of poverty, that's not cool.
Yeah, I know. He like 2-3 years ago, he threw his little, purse dog, one of those little Paris Hilton type little yappy dogs. He threw him a lavish birthday party.
It's so ridiculous.
And then some people said what you said, Ted, like, hey, we could use some food over here.
Yeah, what with us being, hungry.
But the dog is eating like some luxurious vanilla bean cream imported from.
Oh no.
Yeah, I know.
It's not right.
Yeah. And people were tweeting about it, and then those people got jailed. But at least they'll get food in jail. So
that's true. there will be food. Oh my God.
So yeah, that's what's happening, I guess, in Brazil. All right, let's move on.
Happy about this upcoming story, by the way.
Oh God, this
is a classic TMI story.
This is like perfect for the Angelino that I am. Because
Angelina.
Yeah, we just Angelino because it's everybody's Angelino.
Yeah.
So we used to be, I don't know if we still are, Ted, the motherland of all plastic surgery, right? Like that was, if you want plastic surgery, Los Angeles, Beverly Hills, that's where you go. Not so much these days anymore. People are going to Turkey. People are going to Brazil. People are going to Mexico. I mean, there's a lot of surgery everywhere. But this story, we're going to file it under humanity has too much disposable income and not enough supervision. We just talked about the Thai prince, right? Throwing his dog, a foofy dog, a birthday party. This is the same thing. File this under that. So we're going to talk about the latest luxury body trend. Okay, making its appearance. It's called rib remodeling. Remodeling, like a house, Ted. Remodeling. It's
I'm not sure that's
surgery.
Really the word that I would use.
I know.
Yeah, it's not accurate, actually.
No, but it's rib. Yes, like your rib cage, ribs. Because apparently lip filler, BBLs, chin sculpting, fox eyes, buccal fat removal, breast implants, lipo, tummy tucks, and of course, Ozempic face are not enough. Now people are literally trying to reshape their rib cages in pursuit of a smaller waistline. That's where we're at in America, Ted.
It's so confusing because, I mean, it's just like yesterday where people were trying to make their asses bigger.
Well, no, this has nothing to do with your ass. They still want the ass.
Okay. All right. So you still want your ass. All right.
You still want a ginormous
thank God for
ass.
that. All right.
You still want the Kim Kardashian ginormous ass.
Right.
But you want...
Which people used to not want.
It.
People used to be like, oh my God, my ass is too big.
Yeah, do these jeans make my ass look big? Yeah. Like that sort of thing. No, it's all reversed. But now they want that corseted waistline look, or the Jessica Rabbit look, or the Brian Gnome look with the cartoonish boobs and the small waist. Apparently, Mr. Gnome was paying $25 per minute, Ted, for those services of the cam girls.
So strange.
Per minute, because those women had ginormous boobs, a smaller, cartoonishly small waist, and big ass.
And Christy is a skinny thing.
She's a thin, fit,
used to be have a more average body, right?
Yeah, but I mean, Ted, when you're traveling all around the country playing Ice Barbie, you probably come across like places like when you're in LA, for example. They had a long stint in LA. I'm sure she got some nip tucks done when she was there.
Apparently so. Hey, do you think that she has an open relationship, open marriage, or you know what I mean? Or is it a don't ask, don't tell situation?
Hard to tell. That's hard to tell. We need to give it more time and see how else she responds publicly. But I feel like
how he responds is really more to the point.
He knew about Corey Lewandowski because he told his online dominatrixes. He told them that about her having an affair.
Well, what did he have to say about it? Did he say like, "Oh, this is just our shtick," or "I get off on it"?
No, he didn't say anything like that. He was the cam girls seemed to express that he seemed frustrated by it.
Oh, okay.
So he's just, but because he also expressed that he did truly love her and wanted their relationship to work, but that he was frustrated about this Corey thing, and that's why he's there. He just needed some attention from big boobs, little waist, big booty. That's why he was there. He said so.
It's so strange.
So apparently that look that he's interested in is a thing, because we're talking about it here on this rib cage removal. So the procedure, according to surgeons and reports on this trend, is marketed as a way to create a more dramatic hourglass silhouette by either repositioning, I don't know how you do this, repositioning, contouring, which means you can shave down, or in some cases, partially altering the lower ribs so the waist appears narrower, like you're wearing a corset. So we've moved past like lipo as body contour and to straight up let's renovate the human skeleton.
What could go wrong?
And before anyone says, "Oh, well, maybe it's just a little tweak," let's be real here. This is your rib cage. It's not a decorative throw pillow. It's not, the awnings outside of your house that you want to remodel. This is your rib cage. It actually serves a function, right? Because your organs would like to stay inside of the rib cage, Ted.
It's where they like to live.
It's your organs, your heart, your lungs, kidneys, all that. Like, there's a lot of stuff stuffed in those rib cages. They like the shelter of the rib cage. But now surgeons are saying it can be done safely if it's in the right hands. It's not what they were doing just a couple of years ago, which was rib removal. They'd remove the lower bottom two, which then exposed your kidneys and your liver for some people. I mean, every human body, your anatomy is slightly different in measurement and whatever, right? So Like you could be a teeny tiny small petite woman and have like a long rib cage, and that's why you have a more boxy frame, right? But it's housing your lower organs like your liver and whatever and kidneys. Some people might have theirs stuffed further up, or oh gosh,
it's so insane.
Catherine O'Hara. Remember, she had the reverse. Her heart was on the other side, and all that weird.
Well, that wasn't her fault.
No. But I'm saying people's anatomies are different.
They are,
and nature gave you that many ribs for a reason. So you kind of need it. But every year this beauty ideal is changing to be more cartoonish. And I would tell people, if you're a millennial, a young millennial or Gen Zer, if you're not familiar with the Roger Rabbit movie from the early 90s, right?
Yep.
Go look at that. Go look at Jessica Rabbit.
Yep.
That's where
exactly
we're at.
The look. Yeah.
That is the look. Tiny waist, huge, ridiculous duck lips. If you're a man, you need to have that perfect square, chiseled, like Brad Pitt jaw. Everyone needs that smooth skin. You can't have pores. You can't show any age. Basically, you have to look like a cartoon, like Jessica Rabbit. And of course, you put it on social media. So this is just where we're at. And I would say it is all hallmarks of a failed capitalist experiment, Ted, by way of scalpel. We have crossed into excess.
Well, is it a failed experiment, or is it just a stupid experiment? It's not failed by definition yet. Right?
Yet. Well, we're right there at the cusp, Ted. If we're fucking removing ribs, this is, again, it's okay. The realtor in me says this. I have been in properties where I have literally run out of, like, quick, as soon as the seller is telling me, oh, they just remodeled and they, this hasn't been permitted. And they're like, oh, I'm like, what did you knock down this wall, this, that, or whatever? And they're like, oh yeah, we opened up the kitchen and we took down this beam over here. And I get into it further. I look at the blueprints of their house and I'm like, that was a load-bearing beam.
Oops.
I'm not going to be a party to the sale of this house because this house can collapse at any time.
Yes, it could.
You took down a load-bearing beam.
This is not a good idea.
That's what's happening here with American women trying to look Instagram ready. You are taking down load-bearing ribs. Not good. And it costs like at least $15,000, Ted.
Yeah. That's crazy. And it's obviously, it's all good. It's all good fun until people start to die. Right?
Like, what's going to happen to you when you get older? Like, ladies, I am 45 years old. I know a lot of women, like, they hide their age or whatever, but thankfully, being Asian American in the Asian culture, it's an honor to grow old. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a privilege. It's an honor and a privilege to grow old. So I'm proud to be a 45-year-old woman. I'm not in a race to try to erase my age or what nature changes my body to look like. I'm not going to fight against that. I'm for embracing that. I'm for natural aging as much as you can. Believe me, if the time comes, I feel like I need to do it. I feel like I would feel better if I did that. then maybe I'll do it. I'm not against anybody doing that, but I'm personally not a proponent of risking your physical anatomy to try to be beautiful. It's one thing to have, you know what I mean? It's one thing to have like the stupid duck lips or even to have a facelift.
The other thing is it's not beautiful.
You don't think a teeny tiny waist is beautiful?
No, don't. I look at Christy Noma. I think actually she was much sexier before she had all this work done. She was cuter.
Oh,
I mean,
no,
I
her
would
face?
have tapped that a lot sooner than I would tap this.
Her face, you mean, or her figure?
The whole thing.
The whole kit.
The whole kit. Mm-hmm.
Huh. Yeah, she's gotten very, very lean. Very, very lean. And I think they have like 3 kids.
You know, guys really do like curves.
Well, I mean, I'm not a guy, so
I'm just saying. I mean, I should say, look, some guys like skinny mini. I mean, look, there's for every Jack, there's a Jill, and vice versa. I do believe that, but I think it's very. I gotta say, as a longstanding guy myself, I haven't spent it's like, sure, morbid obesity is a problem in our culture, but like basically, I've never heard a woman, dude say like, oh, she's 20 pounds overweight, fuck her. Like, it's just like, no, it's just not even it just doesn't come up. It's just like not important.
Well, then where do you think women get this idea that you should be shaped like Jessica Rabbit, if not from men?
Well, they're getting it from pop culture, and like, don't forget, like,
but not men within pop culture.
But gay men. I mean, think about like the influence, like the guys who are editing fashion magazines. A lot of them are gay, right? And so their aesthetic is they like boyish look, a boyish body.
Ultra skinny, yeah. I mean,
boobs.
I had
boobless.
Yeah. Well, look, the women you see in Playboy look very different than the women you see in Vogue. Right? Like the models in those magazines are polarly opposite of one another, diametrically opposed. Right? The women in Playboy, real or fake, it doesn't matter, but they have those curves. And in Vogue, they're desperately thin, where like I call collarbone chic, right? You want to be like, I was obsessed with that too when I lived in LA. Being from LA, I always wanted to make sure I could see my collarbone. If I couldn't see my collarbone, I wasn't thin enough. But now it's not only Kate Moss skinny. You have to have, when you're just in silhouette, you have to be shaped like 2 triangles with the small part touching each other. That's the shape. That's the new shape now. So like Kim Kardashian. So you get the cartoonish big boobs and the cartoonish big butt and a corset style waist. So it's not even, look, I became an adult in the late 90s when Kate Moss was the thing. So that was the look, right? Like I get that. Today's look it's not human.
Well,
it's not even.
And you're
human.
right. It's going to have health repercussions later, years from now, right? I mean, as it is, I used to think that I used to worry about like tattoos and be like, God, what are tattoos going to look like when you're like 80? Like they're going to be all stretched out and weird looking. And that's true, but that's no bigs compared to this shit.
No. What happens, Ted? What happens if you're like, when you get older and you're missing the 2 lower bottom ribs and your kidneys they start to gush out?
I don't know why anyone would fuck. Let me just tell you, I've broken my ribs a couple of times.
Ugh.
And it's no fun. I don't know why anyone would do this voluntarily.
I don't know. It's a thing. Nerd seems to agree with you today. He says, I think Ted's right. Men did it back in the day, but now that stuff is primarily influenced by pressure from other women and, of course, the gay fashion establishment. Yep.
That's how it is.
I don't know. So if you guys see,
it's sort of like, why do girls buy fucking stupid shoes? Not because of straight guys. Let me just tell you, never in the history of straight men has a straight man been like, man, look at her shoes. I want to tap that ass. Like, no way. That's never happened.
There are total fetish sites dedicated to women wearing like spike heels.
Yeah, but that's not even about sex. Fetishizing is like sex adjacent, but it's not really. I don't know.
Okay.
Yes, there's
But
some.
you're saying
Okay,
in real
I'll
life,
take it. I'll take
when
it
you're
back.
hitting on a woman.
Yeah, exactly. You're not
Like you don't go to a bar and it's like,
there
oh,
probably
she's so
are
hot,
some.
and you
There
look down
probably
at her
are some
shoes,
guys.
and you're like,
there are probably some dudes who really do want to see, like, a girl's like high heels up by
their ears.
by her ears. Yeah, I get that. That's a thing.
Yeah.
But it's rare. I mean, most guys aren't looking at that.
No, I guess you're right because
my grandfather was a huge expert in women's lingerie, and he was the head of women's lingerie for Dayton Hudson department stores, and he knew women's lingerie. He's a pioneer in the field, and he told me something interesting. He told me a lot of interesting things, but one of them was that everyone assumes that like women were wives back in the 40s and 50s, that they were buying this stuff for their husbands to look sexy for their husbands. And there were people like that, but for the most part, that wasn't true. Most of them were buying it for themselves to feel they liked the way it looked. Guys mostly just wanted to see. It was like another layer to get through. The lingerie just looks best on the floor,
Well, look, to your point that in actionable real life, I guess you're right. Like there's no straight man that's hitting on a woman at a bar, or he eyeballs her and then looks her up and down and gets down to her shoes and is like, oh, but those are terrible shoes. I'm not going to hit on her.
That doesn't happen.
That's a boner kill. No,
it was all
looking
good
on her
up until then. Yeah,
I got to her shoes.
I will say, like, white sneakers, kind of unfortunate. Like like the New York City subway girls who are like, I get why they do that because they have to go up and down those horrible stairs.
Everyone in Washington D.C., all the girls in D.C. do that. They
have their little bag. I get it, but it's not
a big purse you throw your shoes in, and
it's very unattractive. I'm always like, you guys can get better looking sneakers. The white ones are terrible. Just don't.
No, the white ones are terrible. No, you can get better flat shoes.
Little cute pink ones or green ones or yellow ones or something.
Right. Yeah. Right. Not big clunky. Yeah, I see what you're saying. So technically there is a level of boner kill on the bad shoes.
It's a bit of a boner kill, but the girl's cute.
Okay.
You still are going to look past that.
So there you go, ladies. If you want to hear from a straight man who's been straight for a very long time.
True. I know a lot of people actually doubt that I'm straight, but yeah, no, I'm straight.
But that's just it. You don't have
I'm
to
so
spend
confident. I'm so confident in my
on
heterosexuality that I don't feel a need to, deny being gay. If you want to think I'm gay, that's fine with me. You can think I'm gay.
I wish other girls. This is why I'm glad about the lawsuit against Meta properties and YouTube and all that. And we talked about it last week when the case was lost by Meta and YouTube about the influence of social media and how it makes the girl that sued them, that went by only the initials, how it could cause her depression. Like, this is why a whole generation of women are doing this stupid shit. Like subjecting themselves, taking out loans, Ted. Taking out loans to get rib removal, rib contouring, rib remodeling, as they're calling it. What the fuck?
Not worth a penny as far as I'm concerned.
Ladies, just don't. Just do the other things. Don't go touching your literal the structure of your anatomy.
Nope.
Your ribs.
Don't do
Don't do that. All right, last one.
I love this one. Cambodia has unveiled the first statue in the world honoring a landmine detecting rat.
Yay!
Magawa, the rat, lived to be 8 years old, so he was a pretty old rat, and identified. I think so. I think rats typically live 3 to 5 years, and identified more than 100 landmines and other explosives between 2016 and 2021. There are more than 100 African pouched rats. These are big ones, deployed in landmine detection operations around the world. To identify mines, the rats are trained to sniff out explosive compounds like TNT or trinotrotoluene. The rats are not heavy enough to trigger detonation unless they get obese. So don't give them too many treats. In Cambodia, up to 6 million landmines remain undiscovered, most planted during 3 decades of conflict from the Vietnam War through the Civil War in Kampuchea.
Thank you, America.
Yeah, USA. Since 1979, roughly 20,000 people have been killed in Cambodia and roughly 40,000 wounded as a result of the mines. Magawa cleared more than 1.5 million square feet of land and was capable of searching a tennis court-sized area within 20 minutes compared to 4 days by a human.
Wow.
So, yeah, Magawa kicked ass. He deserves a statue.
Oh, like I'm saying for a rat. Ew.
But rats are cool, man. You know.
I mean, I've never held one. I've seen them at the pet shops, but I've also seen in the wild, in my own backyard. Not cute little mice. Even in the wild, they're still cute. I mean, I know they're disgusting, but they're still cute. Rats are big and fat, and they have the big tail. And I don't know what. I mean, I saw the picture of Magawa. I know people have these things as pets. I know.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, they do.
I know, and he deserves a statue. I mean, this is a real problem in Southeast. I've not been there. Ted's been to Laos and Thailand. You've been to Cambodia too?
Yep.
Cambodia too? Yeah. Yeah. So all that area.
And like, I got to tell you, so landmine clearing is also a huge thing in Afghanistan. And the mines are everywhere. I mean, I was next to a field and a donkey blew up not far from me, hitting a landmine. It was really sad. I also was walking by someone's interior courtyard that the door was open and there was a marker where a landmine had been identified in the central garden of the compound. So people had to they had to plant their vegetables around the landmine and it hadn't been removed yet. And so, I mean, the thing is, Afghanistan is awash in mines. Tajikistan is awash in mines because of the civil conflict of the 1990s that most people never heard of here. So yeah, it's a huge thing. So yay rats.
Well, yay to Magawa and his ilk, her ilk. I don't. His is that a his? Was it a boy? Let me see. Did they identify Magawa as a boy or girl? Because I wonder if it was like the premier landmine detecting rat, did it have offspring? Because maybe it had better sense of smell. Maybe it had better smarts upstairs. So I wonder if Magawa had any offspring, because then you can train it to do, then it could be like Magawa. They should have cloned Magawa. Just saying.
Yep.
It's a really cool story. There are more than 100 African pouched rats. I've never heard of those before, but anyway, Laos, as you know, Ted, is the most heavily bombed country on Earth, and it still has a lot of unexploded ordnances everywhere. I wonder if these rats could be used there, and if they're not already. And you know who's doing the bulk of the clearing in Laos, Ted?
No.
The Russians.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. They've been since the 80s. Yeah.
That's cool.
The Russians.
I mean, again, I'm sure, but we can't say that because that's like saying nice things about the Russians.
I know. I know it doesn't behoove us to say nice things about the old Russians, but that's why Laos had approved Russia to help build out the Vientiane International Airport and modernize it. And they agreed to have a hangar there that's dedicated for Russian jets. But it's because the Russians have been literally risking life and limb to demine Laos from all the shit that the U.S. left behind in the 60s and 70s, making it the most heavily bombed country on earth. The U.S. has never gone into clean. Maybe small groups here and there, spend a couple $1 million to help demine or whatever. But there are physical Russians, Muscovites, blonde hair, blue-eyed Russians out there. They're risking life and limb to demine Laos. I wonder if they've heard about Magawa. They should get Magawa.
There are other animals. Well, Magawa's gone, right? But
a Magawa of their own.
Yeah. But there are other animals that are used for demining.
Yeah, but you would feel bad if it was like bigger than a rat. I feel like
I guess
if
so.
if a rat.
Oh yeah, they use dogs. Up,
apparently,
the Belgian is it Malinois? Is that how you pronounce it?
Malinois. Yeah.
Anyway, that dog is used a lot, and German Shepherds.
Yeah, they do. But you would feel awful if the dog set off the mine, right? Or the UXO.
I have to say, I
don't feel as bad if a rat blows up.
I don't think it happens that much. I think dogs are just fucking. They're their sense of smell is off the charts. They just fucking know, and that's it.
I'm curious to know more about Magawa. I've never heard of like bomb detecting rats.
Robbie has some housekeeping to do, he says.
Okay. Hello, Robbie.
Howdy. Now, just real quick, just a reminder, y'all's favorite communist has gone capitalist and now has a official Rumble channel. You can find him by just doing a quick search for Ted Rall Official. I dropped the link. And I'm going to start posting the cartoons of his that I'm animating over there, as well as shorts. So if y'all
really cool.
So if y'all need more Ted Rall in your life, you've come to the right place. So go drop him a follow on Rumble. We got to make sure he gets his watch hours and stuff for the Rumble requirements. And also we will be dropping premium episodes of TMI and Deprogram and Ted Rall this week. So be sure that you are following.
Excellent. Yes, please help us with the watch hours, because that's what that's how Rumble creators, part of the metrics that you have to meet to be part of the monetization program, which is why they're able to pay more than like YouTube, which gives you like slivers of a penny for hours of watching. So that's how it's done. So thank you.
Take a look at Putin Bot Gaming too, because I suspended Robbie Aid. Because with John leaving, we're going to get a lot less donations and stuff over on Deprogram. So I do not feel right getting donations whenever Ted and Jamaro are not. So if y'all would like to help me out, just let Putin Bot Gaming stream in the background. Okay, if you watch or not, just let it run.
Yes, that's all. Just leave it playing. You guys don't even have to. You're walking away from your computer or your iPad or whatever. Just leave it playing. That helps all the shows and the creators tremendously. So we'll leave that there. That will do it for this Monday. Apparently Easter Monday is not a thing, but
no. That is something that you invented. And,
I didn't invent,
and
the school did.
Maybe it'll be your idea that catches on.
You need to start going to church.
Here did.
You need to start going to church again, Manila.
The schools told the parents that the kids have Monday off because it's Easter Monday. So I was like, oh, maybe schools always do that.
Well, first of all, if there were
first kid, I don't know.
Easter Monday was a real thing, it would be last Monday.
It would have.
Well, no,
why
it was
last Monday?
No, it's
yesterday
this Monday,
was Easter.
because Jesus is crucified on a Wednesday. So I mean, that's why he rose on the first day of the week, because the Bible's clear is that Jesus was dead for 3 days and 3 nights.
Right.
The Jewish day started at night. No, that's why Jesus had to be off the cross before Passover started, because it was a high Sabbath.
Right.
But Holy Thursday was last week.
Yeah.
Good Friday was last week.
Yeah, but Good Friday is wrong. It should be Good Wednesday.
But if you're going to do all that, then if you're going to have a Monday, a good Monday would have been, if you're going to do it, should be last week, right?
But no, because the entire point
No,
of
why would
Easter,
it be the Monday before?
Yeah, because
Holy Thursday is before.
No, it would be Monday because it would be it would be after he rose.
It's basically the whole week. If it's Easter Monday, I guess.
So it's just like, I don't know, maybe Virginia schools are like, yeah, we're going to recognize Easter Monday because maybe it took Jesus, he bumped into some traffic on the way up. So
and
you
he
need
didn't want
time.
he didn't want to pay those tolls.
Maybe, like, maybe, like, so they gave.
He doesn't have to pay tolls because he could walk on water. So he doesn't need to worry about the Potomac.
I don't know, but at least in Northern Virginia, they called it Easter Monday. Your kids are off. So we're like, oh,
Easter
okay.
Monday.
I thought it was a thing. I don't know. I've only been a parent for 7 years. I don't know. So I thought it was a thing.
Strange. You're like,
oh, okay.
Yeah,
all right.
that's
Well, that
weird.
does it. So happy Easter to all those who are celebrating. And I think Passover is still going on, isn't it? For a couple more days.
I don't know. I'm not Jewish.
it's funny. Like I had a few. I always thought, like, whenever I read the Bible, but also in Catholicism, the whole period after the resurrection is kind of like not dwelled upon. Like, it's like sort of like, but it's actually super interesting. Like Jesus is walking around, he's hanging with his homies, he's getting ready to go up to heaven again. It's kind of like, I'm back. And like, it's kind of like, that's sort of like, it's kind of like the whole story sort of, mostly people stopped talking, like, and then he rose again and that was it. But that's not really it. There's a substantial period of time that he was, resurrected and spent time before he
was here. Yeah, he was here for 40 days before he ascended.
Right.
And during that time, he wasn't with the apostles most of the time.
But he did see them.
Oh, yeah. No, he saw them. And Thomas is probably my favorite apostle. No, he always gets a bad rep because he's called Doubting Thomas. He's like, unless I see, I will not believe. Mm-hmm. But in the Gospel of John, after Jesus raised Lazarus, the Jews wanted to kill both Jesus and John because Jesus and Lazarus because Jesus resurrected him. So naturally, that pissed off the Jews. They're like, no, you can't be doing this. You're a necromancer. And so then Jesus, in true Jesus fashion, said, well, I'm going to go to Jerusalem and go preach to the Jews after they just threatened to kill him. And Thomas was just like, let's go die with him because we know how this is going to end. But no, that always gets overlooked because of his doubting after the resurrection.
I mean, yeah. How do you interpret the doubting? Like, hey, dude, can I touch your wound? I roll that way. Come on.
Martina says no school here either today. So see?
Yeah, but there's school here. But I mean, you got to remember, schools are handled locally by your states and counties, not by the federal government.
Yeah, I know.
So that's why.
I forget what state Martina's in, but so yeah. So I don't know.
But no, to answer Ted's question, you got to remember, a lot of the disciples thought that Jesus was going to restore the Davidic kingdom. They didn't understand that it was a kingdom yet to come. And so, whenever he said no, that the Son of Man is going to be killed and raised in 3 days, I think that Thomas must have thought that was a metaphor, that it wasn't literal, but Jesus was being very literal. So if you destroy this temple in 3 days, I will raise it up. And so that just kind of just dashed all of that. And I think that just the trauma, because you've been following this guy for 3.5 years, you've seen him do all these miracles, doing all these things, doing all these works. And you got to remember, just a week before, you had the triumphant entry. We had all these people throwing down their cloaks, waving palm leaves, welcoming Jesus into the city like a conqueror. And then just a few days later, those same people were screaming out, crucify him. And Thomas was there for all of that. Imagine the mind screw that would have been. And you're following this guy for 3.5 years. You gave up everything to be his disciple. And you see him die in the most humiliating, painful way possible. I mean, I can see where he's coming from with that.
That's why I say, give Jesus one more day, man. One more day. Like we did here in Virginia. So that's it. I think why not? One more day for recognition. Why not?
Oh, Ted, we're also doing the Q&A at the top of the hour, aren't we?
We sure are. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Q&A show
tomorrow?
in 45 minutes with Jamal. Yeah.
For deprogram?
Yeah,
Under deprogram.
That's it.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
so-
We're not flipping the script. Just because John pieced out doesn't mean we're changing the show.
Oh, okay.
That's right.
Okay. So, that's nice that you're to stick around. Okay, there you go. So you guys in a little bit, pop back on to deprogram.
That's it.
Otherwise, TMI be back mañana.
See you tomorrow.
Adios, amigos. Thank
Bye,
you.
y'all.
Bye.